Power doesn't begin with muscle. It begins in silence, in how you think, how you recover, how you choose. Most people chase results, attention, or validation. But I tell you, none of that lasts unless you build what's inside first. Your inner strength is the root. Everything else is just a branch. Discipline, clarity, peace. These are not gifts. They are forged through daily focus. Build yourself from the inside out, and the outside world will follow. Before your body can become strong, your mind must be stronger. Muscle may move the body, but the mind decides why and how you move. I've seen people with great strength but no direction. They collapse when pressure comes. But a trained mind stays calm, sharp, and ready even when things fall apart. Build focus before force. Build clarity before action. Because if you can't control your thoughts, your strength will work against you, not for you. Train the mind first. The body will follow with power and purpose. People think power is loud, fast, and aggressive. But I've learned that true power is still. When you are calm in chaos, you see things clearly. You don't rush, you don't react, you choose. Stillness is not doing nothing. It's doing only what matters. The person who stays still while others panic becomes the one who controls the moment. In stillness, you find strength that no noise can shake. Real growth doesn't always happen where others can see it. It happens in silence, in the struggle, in the moments when you feel alone. I became stronger in the dark, when no one was watching, when there was no praise. That's where discipline is built. That's where the real you is created. Don't wait for attention to grow. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Train hard when it's hard, so when the light comes, you're already ready. The quiet work becomes your loudest power later. You cannot become strong while running from your own reflection. Real power begins the moment you sit with your thoughts, your fears, your flaws, and face them without turning away. Most people spend their lives distracting themselves. They fear silence because silence reveals what's unfinished. But if you keep escaping, you stay stuck. Strength is born when you stop running and start owning who you are. I learned to stop hiding behind speed, sound, and movement. Even a warrior needs stillness to see clearly. When you pause, you begin to hear what you've been avoiding. And that's when growth begins. It's not easy, but it's honest. And nothing powerful is ever built without honesty. The truth may be heavy, but it's what builds your base. The world teaches you to escape, scroll, avoid, numb, run. But escaping weakness never creates strength. You only become stronger by walking through the discomfort, not away from it. You don't need to fix everything in one day. You just need to face it today. That's the beginning of change. I faced my anger not with shame, but with curiosity. Why is it here? What does it teach me? When you look at your emotions without fear, they stop controlling you. You don't push them down, you use them. You turn them into fuel, into focus, into self-control. This is the power of facing, not fleeing. You can't heal what you refuse to feel. Strength doesn't mean pretending to be okay. It means being brave enough to look at the parts of you that need work. And then doing that work over and over again, even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable. You become powerful when you learn to sit with your own silence. No distractions, no masks, just you. In that space, you start to see what really matters. Not what others think of you, but what you think of yourself. That's the root of all lasting strength. The world can't take away what it didn't give you. The strongest people I know are not perfect. They're aware. They know their shadows, but they don't live in them. They face their patterns, their pain, and they rise from it. Because you can't change what you won't confront. And you can't grow into power by avoiding the parts of you that need it most. Face it, then change it. You don't have to love every part of your past, but you do have to own it. Avoiding it gives it power. Owning it gives you freedom. Every scar becomes a reminder of how far you've come. Not proof that you're broken, but proof that you endure. Your future doesn't need a perfect version of you. It needs the real one, the one that shows up even messy, even tired, but honest. There's nothing more powerful than a person who sees their flaws and still chooses to grow. That's the strength that lasts. That's the strength that leads. You can train every day, master every skill. But if you're still escaping your own mind, you'll always feel empty. Strength is not how fast you run away from pain. It's how deeply you sit with it, learn from it, and let it pass through you. This is how power is built. Not in avoidance, but in awareness. Once you stop escaping yourself, you stop needing approval. You stop explaining your worth to people who don't see it. Because you've already looked within and faced the truth. And truth, once seen, becomes your armor. You may still struggle, but you'll never again be shaken by lies. That is freedom. Your greatest enemy is the part of you that says, "Not yet." Stop waiting for the right time to face yourself. The work is hard, but it's yours. And when you do it, you unlock a power no one can take from you. Strength doesn't begin when life gets easy. It begins when you stop running and start becoming. Before you defeat what's outside, you must conquer what's within. The first enemy is not out there. It's the voice in your mind that says, "Later, I can't," or "I'm not ready." I've seen warriors train for years, only to be broken by their own excuses. Excuses are silent thieves. They steal your time, your energy, and your growth. If you don't cut them early, they'll become habits. And habits shape who you are. Your opponent doesn't need to be stronger if your excuses make you weaker. That's why I trained my discipline before I trained my strikes. If I missed a day, I didn't explain, I corrected. Excuses feel comfortable in the moment, but they cost you in the fight. Each time you lie to yourself, you lose your edge. Truth builds strength. Excuses bury it. It's easy to point fingers, to blame your environment, your past, or your pain. But pointing outwards keeps you powerless. Real power begins when you say, "This is mine to fix." That doesn't mean it's your fault. It means it's your fight. And a warrior who owns his struggle becomes impossible to stop, because nothing holds him back but himself. Excuses wear different masks: fear, doubt, laziness, even overthinking. But at the core, they all say the same thing: stay small. I refused that. Even when I was tired, unsure, or failing, I moved anyway. Because movement breaks excuses, and action silences doubt. If you want to become great, your reasons must be stronger than your excuses. Don't train only when it's easy. Train because it's necessary. The days you don't feel like showing up are the days your opponent hopes you won't. That's when discipline must lead. Not emotion, not mood, just decision. Some people wait for motivation. I created systems. Motivation comes and goes. Excuses know that. But structure, that's where growth lives. If you let emotion decide, excuses will win. But if you let commitment lead, you stay sharp, even when the fire is gone. When you hear an excuse rising in your mind, interrupt it. Ask, is this the truth or just the easy way out? If it's not serving your growth, let it go. You don't need to feel ready. You need to be willing. The more you practice cutting excuses, the more automatic your power becomes. Your dream doesn't care how tired you are. Your purpose doesn't wait for perfect conditions. Every excuse adds distance between where you are and where you could be. Cut it now, not tomorrow, not next week. Every delay becomes regret if you let it. You must move before your mind talks you out of it. I never asked myself, do I feel like it today? I asked, will this take me closer or further from my goal? That question kills most excuses on the spot. Because feelings are temporary, but discipline builds forever. If you train only when it's convenient, you'll be defeated by those who train with purpose. Cutting excuses means telling the truth. Maybe you didn't give your best. Maybe you quit early. Own it, adjust it, then show up stronger. Shame grows in silence, but power grows in honesty. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be real and relentless. Excuses will always be available. You can pick one any day and no one will stop you. But if you want something rare, focus, strength, peace, greatness, then you must choose discipline over comfort. It's not easy, that's why it works. Few choose this path, even fewer stay on it. It's simple. Cut the excuse or the excuse will cut your progress. You can't fight both the world and yourself. So defeat the enemy in your mind. The one who whispers quit, wait, or why bother? Because once that voice is gone, nothing else can stop you. Your energy is your greatest weapon. Without it, your discipline fades, your clarity weakens, and your strength becomes scattered. I learned early that not everything deserves my attention. What drains you controls you, and the more you give away to noise, the less you have for growth. Protect your energy like a warrior guards his sword. Not every battle is worth fighting. Some things are designed to distract, not develop. When your energy is low, ask yourself, did I give it away or was it taken? Most of the time we volunteer it through arguments, overthinking, and unnecessary tasks. Choose wisely where your power goes. When I trained, I wasn't just building muscle, I was building focus. That focus came from saying no. No to people who only talk, no to environments that kept me stuck. I chose peace over pressure. Because real strength comes from consistent energy, not constant exhaustion. And peace is a source of endless fuel. You must learn to recognize the difference between growth and drain. Some people lift your mind, others leave you heavy. Some habits sharpen your edge, others make you dull. Pay attention to how you feel after, not just during. Energy doesn't lie. It shows you what's helping you rise or pull you down. You don't owe your time to everyone. Not everyone deserves access to your focus. Every yes you give out of guilt is a no to your progress. Set limits not to punish others, but to protect what you're building. When your boundaries are clear, your energy becomes focused, and with focus comes growth. Energy leaks through small cracks, pointless arguments, chasing approval, endless scrolling. You think you're tired, but you're just scattered. Close those leaks, reclaim your power. You don't need more hours, you need more intentional hours. Focus is how you multiply your time, and time is how you build greatness. Not every response deserves your voice. Silence is a form of protection. Let others speak from emotion. You move from presence. The moment you guard your reactions, you guard your energy. And the less they can touch you, this is power. Quiet, still, untouchable. Even your thoughts can be energy thieves, worrying about what-ifs, replaying what's already done. Train your mind to return to the present, because the present is where strength is built. Every second you're distracted, you're delaying your growth. Bring it back, lock it in, surround yourself with what fuels you. People, routines, spaces that push you forward. Your environment should reflect your vision. If it doesn't, it's time to adjust or leave. You don't grow in soil that poisons your roots. Choose wisely where you stand. Your energy must be invested, not wasted. Put it into habits that return value. Training, learning, resting, reflecting. These are not luxuries. They are how you last. Longevity comes from respect, not just for others, but for your own energy. Protect it daily. There's a difference between being busy and being built. Busy is scattered. Built is focused. If your energy isn't creating progress, it's being burned in place. You don't have to do more. You have to do what matters more. The sharper your energy, the deeper your impact, and the cleaner your power. Energy is not infinite. It's earned, managed, and directed. The world will always want more of you. But your job is to give only what aligns with your path. Protect your energy like your future depends on it. Because it does. Guard it, grow it, and greatness will follow. Struggle is not your enemy. It's your mirror. It shows you where you're weak, where you hide, where you break. But that mirror is not meant to shame you. It's meant to shape you. I never feared struggle. I studied it. Because if you let it teach you, it becomes a tool. And tools build strength, not scars. Pain doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're stepping outside your limits. Most people run at the first sign of discomfort, but I say, sit with it, observe it. Because what burns today will polish you tomorrow, only if you stay with it long enough to transform. Don't wear your struggle as identity. You are not what happened to you. You are what you do with it. The struggle may visit you, but it doesn't get to stay. It can enter your life, but don't let it decorate your future. Let it pass through you like wind through trees. Move, sway, but never fall. Every master was once a beginner who didn't quit. You don't become unshakable by avoiding pressure. You become unshakable by walking through it step by step. Let every challenge sharpen you. You don't rise from comfort, you rise from being forged. Struggle is the fire, but you are the sword. Sometimes struggle breaks things in you that were never strong to begin with. That's not weakness, that's discovery. Now you know what to rebuild and how. Don't hide the cracks. Strength grows through them. Wear them like armor, not shame, because what survived is real. Most people want the reward, but not the test. They want the result, not the grind. But the grind is where greatness is carved. When I struggled, I didn't complain. I transformed. I used every hardship to learn control, focus, patience. Because pain is temporary, but power lasts. Let the struggle change you, not consume you. Let it sharpen your mind, not close your heart. Don't grow bitter, grow clear. Every loss carries a lesson. But only if you listen with discipline, not emotion. That's where refinement begins. You're not weak for feeling it. You're strong when you stand inside it and don't fold. That's where courage is built, not in comfort, but in the fire, even when everything inside you says stop. Your next step forward is what makes you different. That step becomes your strength. Your struggle may slow you, but it should never stop you. Rest if you must, but never retreat. You've come too far to be defeated by what was sent to mold you. Let it stretch you, not shrink you. You're not here to escape the hard things. You're here to rise through them. The most beautiful version of you is the one you build through hardship, not the one that's untouched, but the one that survived. Struggle teaches you self-respect, emotional control, and mental sharpness. The person who emerges from the fire is someone no shortcut can create. That person doesn't fear storms. They become the storm. When struggle comes, welcome it like a teacher. Not with joy, but with readiness. Ask it what it's here to show you. Ask it where you need to grow. Then take the hit and stay standing. That's how warriors are born. Struggle is not here to destroy you. It's here to remove what doesn't belong. Let it clean your path, not cloud it. Let it refine your strength, not rewrite your worth. You were not made to break. You were made to rise. You don't need an audience to be great. True strength is built when no one's watching, in silence, in discipline, in focus. I trained not to impress others, but to impress upon myself who I was becoming. When you act without needing to be seen, your power becomes real, not borrowed, not performed, but earned. And that's a power no one can take. Many people move only when eyes are on them. They shine in crowds but crumble in solitude. But the work that matters most is done in the quiet. The hours no one praises. The sacrifices no one claps for. That's where warriors are forged, away from the spotlight. Let the unseen become your strength. When your actions come from ego, they fade. When they come from purpose, they last. I've seen people chase attention and lose direction. Fame is loud but fragile, but discipline, silent, steady, builds forever. Train for who you are, not who they expect. You don't have to announce every move. You don't have to prove you're working. Just work. Power is not in how much you show, it's in how much you can build without applause. If the only reason you move is to be noticed, you'll stop the moment no one looks. Your value is not in the post, the like, or the praise. It's in the habit, the sweat, the silence. Every private win shapes the person the world eventually sees. So stop performing, start becoming. Do the work in the dark. Let your results speak in the light. Some will never see how hard you worked. That's okay. They don't need to. What matters is you know. You felt the weight. You stayed when it was hard. And now your strength comes from truth, not from attention. That's the kind of power that doesn't break. I trained in silence so that my strikes could speak. I practiced stillness so that my actions would echo. You don't need to announce your goals. Just move. Just commit. The right people will notice. And even if they don't, you will. There is peace in not needing recognition. There is power in knowing your path even when no one claps for it. Walk with intention, not for approval, because when your journey is guided by purpose, not praise, you move stronger, lighter, and longer. That's the walk of a master. Stop sharing every step. Start trusting the process. Let your dedication become sacred, something only you and the journey understand. You're not behind. You're just not loud. And that silence is not weakness. It's precision. Every quiet step forward builds a louder future, one that won't need explaining. If your identity depends on being seen, you'll never be stable. You'll rise and fall with people's attention. But if your identity is built on inner truth, you'll remain steady even when no one's looking. That's the difference between acting and becoming. You're here to become. Be excellent in private. Be disciplined in secret. Let your character rise in spaces where no praise exists, because one day when the world looks, they won't see noise, they'll see mastery, and that's what silent work creates. Don't move to be seen, move to become. Train so deeply that results are undeniable. Be so consistent that your silence becomes louder than their applause. You don't need to be followed, you need to be focused. Doubt is natural, but it has no strength unless you feed it. Habits, on the other hand, are what build you piece by piece. Every time you choose discipline over hesitation, your doubts lose weight. Your habits become proof that you can move forward without needing permission. I didn't trust my feelings, I trusted my training. Because habits don't lie, they show up even when belief doesn't. You can doubt yourself and still take action. What matters is what you repeat, not what you fear. Doubt whispers, "You're not enough." Habit replies, "Watch me show up anyway." You won't always feel strong, but when you've trained to act through the fog, strength returns. I didn't rise because I had no doubts. I rose because I built routines that were stronger than my excuses. Your habits create motion, and motion kills fear. Even small actions done daily will crush the weight of uncertainty. You don't overcome doubt in your mind. You overcome it through movement. Waiting for confidence is a trap. Confidence comes after repetition. Build habits that keep you moving through hesitation. 1 page read, 1 rep completed, 1 breath taken. These are bricks that build an unshakable mind. Small habits, big results. Every time doubt says, "Why try?" respond with effort. You don't argue with fear, you outwork it. A solid habit doesn't care how you feel today. It pulls you up when your emotions pull you down. That's the power of showing up, not for results, but for who you're becoming. If you rely on motivation, you will always lose to doubt. But if you rely on habit, you will rise every time. Motivation fades when life gets heavy, but habit is the rope that keeps you climbing. Even when your legs shake, your grip holds. That grip is what separates the warrior from the warrior. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be consistent. It's not about one great day, it's about many ordinary ones done with extraordinary discipline. Each one chips away at insecurity, each one adds weight to your strength, until doubt becomes too light to carry. Your brain will always question your path, but your body remembers repetition. If you build routines that sharpen your focus and test your will, you'll reach a place where your doubt can't breathe. Because there's no space for fear where structure exists. That's how strength becomes automatic. Discipline isn't loud, it's quiet and patient. It doesn't demand attention, it demands return. You show up again and again, even when no one sees it. That repetition rewires your identity. You stop saying, "I hope I can," and start believing, "This is just who I am." Doubt comes from delay. The longer you wait, the heavier fear grows. But when you move fast, even imperfectly, you steal doubt's momentum. Habits are your armor. They protect your progress when your mind tries to stop it. I trusted my habits more than my emotions, because my habits didn't change when things got hard. They stayed steady, and that steadiness became strength. When your routine holds you, you don't need willpower. You just need to keep moving. Don't try to remove all doubt. Outgrow it. Stack your days with actions so solid that your doubt has no room to breathe. Let your habits become so heavy that fear gets crushed beneath them. You don't need perfect belief, you need powerful rhythm. Because when your discipline weighs more than your doubt, nothing can stop you. You were not born to wait for approval. Purpose doesn't knock, it commands. I never asked the world for permission to grow. I moved because I knew who I was becoming. When you walk with intention, the path opens, not because they allowed it, but because you claimed it. People will doubt you, question you, try to hold you still. Let them. Their opinion is not your direction. Purpose does not ask, it acts. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your evolution. Move forward and let your results be your answer. If you wait to be ready, you'll wait forever. Readiness is not granted. It's earned through action. Purpose gives you that push when no one else will. So stop asking, am I allowed? Start declaring, I'm already in motion.
That shift changes everything.
I never let the outside world define my pace. Their rules were not made for my mission. You are not here to fit in. You are here to rise. When your purpose is loud, their noise becomes small. Don't let doubt disguised as politeness slow you down. Your power is in your forward motion. The world rewards clarity. And clarity comes when you stop asking for direction from those who can't see your vision. If they don't understand, that's okay. They weren't meant to. Purpose is not a group project. It's your personal mission. And it begins the moment you stop waiting. There will always be someone telling you to slow down. Don't let their fear become your map. Move fast, move focused, even if it makes others uncomfortable. You're not walking to please them. You're walking to become you. And that journey has no audience requirement. Purpose doesn't beg for space. It takes it. It doesn't whisper. It doesn't doubt. It moves with quiet fire and sharp steps. Those who hesitate watch. Those who act lead. You're here to lead your life, not ask how to live it. Claim it with action. You won't find purpose through endless planning. You find it through movement, trial, failure, adjustment, repetition. Stop waiting to feel certain. Move, and certainty will catch up. Clarity comes to those in motion. When you move with purpose, your energy changes. You no longer chase, you attract. You don't ask, will they support me? You ask, is this aligned with who I'm becoming? That question keeps your path clean and your momentum strong. No one can give you permission to live your own life. If you keep waiting for support, you'll stay stuck. Purpose is what keeps you going when support disappears. Be your own approval, be your own push, because your path is walked alone and walked by choice. Purpose cuts through excuses. It says, even if no one claps, I go. Even if no one sees me, I rise. That kind of mindset builds a life no one can stop. You don't need green lights. You are the green light. Don't move for applause. Don't wait for permission. Move because your spirit commands it, because your soul knows what needs to be done. Let the world adjust to your steps, not the other way around. The world will always be loud, voices pulling, opinions shouting, chaos rising, and trying to shake your center. But your job is not to match the noise. Your job is to remain still, sharp, and focused. The one who stays calm while others panic becomes the one they look to for strength. Stillness becomes your loudest statement. When everyone around you rushes, pause. Speed doesn't mean progress. Most people move fast to avoid looking within. But strength isn't built in noise, it's built in presence. Hold your ground when the world wants to drag you into its storm. That's how leaders emerge. They will call you cold for not reacting. They will say you don't care because you're calm. Let them. You are not here to explain your peace. You are here to protect it. And what you protect grows stronger. I trained myself to breathe when the moment screamed, to stay steady when I was tested, because the storm outside only wins when you invite it inside. Learn to observe without absorbing. Let their noise return to them unanswered. That's how you keep your power. The louder the world gets, the quieter you must become. Not out of fear, out of control. Silence is not weakness. It's a form of command. The one who doesn't flinch, who doesn't react, controls the room, even without speaking. Your emotions are not tools for everyone to use. Don't hand them out to chaos. Protect your responses like you protect your life, because your reaction is your reputation. And when you respond with peace, You walk above the noise. Let them gossip, let them shout, let them demand. You stay focused. You weren't built for drama, you were built for depth. And depth requires silence, reflection, and strength. Noise can't survive where clarity lives. Protect that clarity at all costs. There is power in stillness. It allows you to see what others miss, to hear what others talk over, and to think before you strike. When the world shouts, most swing blindly, but the one who stays still hits with precision. Stillness is not about doing nothing. It's about doing only what matters. It's choosing your movement carefully, not wasting energy on things that don't grow you. You become dangerous when your peace is stronger than your pride. That's when people start to feel your presence before your words. Every day, something will try to shake you. A comment, a headline, a moment of stress. Breathe. Return to center. You trained for this. Your peace is not a reaction. It's a position, and no one can take what you don't surrender. I've seen strong men fall because they chased noise. I've seen quiet ones rise because they chose peace. Your path is not found in the crowd. It's found in the quiet steps forward, while the crowd screams behind you. Keep walking. Let the world shout. Let it spin, rage, and demand. You stay rooted, clear, focused, because when you stop reacting to noise, you become the one who leads without raising your voice. And that is real power. Chaos is everywhere, in the world, in people, in pressure. But your job is not to fear the chaos. Your job is to cut through it with what you've built inside. Your inner strength is not for show. It's your blade. And a blade is only powerful if it's sharp, balanced, and controlled. That's what you train for, to move clean through confusion. When chaos hits, most people swing wildly. They react out of fear, emotion, noise. But you're not here to fight everything. You're here to cut through what doesn't serve you. That takes clarity, not speed. It takes knowing where to strike and where to stay still. Inner strength doesn't scream. It moves with precision. It knows what matters and what doesn't. You don't waste your power trying to control the storm. You move through it with clean choices, choices that don't need permission, only purpose. I built my strength not for attention, but for direction. So when everything around me spun in circles, I stayed on a straight path. Not because the chaos didn't reach me, but because I trained not to let it cut into me. I held the sword, not the noise. Most people fight the wrong battles. They fight people instead of patterns. They fight for validation instead of vision. But your inner strength gives you focus. It tells you what deserves a strike and what deserves silence. When your mind is sharp, you move without confusion. You don't need to rush. You know where your energy must go. That's how you move with power, not with panic, but with precision. I've walked through chaos where others fell apart, not because I was stronger, but because I was trained inside. My blade wasn't seen, it was felt. You don't need to raise your voice when your presence cuts through everything. That's true force. The sword isn't about destruction. It's about cutting away what isn't needed. Your inner strength isn't about overpowering others. It's about staying true, steady, and clean in the middle of confusion. Let the world bring the storm. You bring the still edge and slice straight through. You must sharpen your strength every day. Through discipline, through silence, through truth, not for the world to see, but for the chaos to fear. Because when your mind is strong, chaos loses its grip. It can't distract what is fully focused. When chaos rises, do not match its speed. Slow down, breathe, aim. One clear move from the inside is more powerful than 1,000 scattered reactions. That's the advantage of inner power. It never wastes energy. Your strength was never about control. It was about clarity. To know what deserves your time. To know what must be cut and what must be kept. Chaos may be loud, but it's also blind. Your calm cuts through its confusion, like a sword through smoke. Remember this. The world will try to confuse you, pull you in, make you forget who you are. But you are not here to be lost in the storm. You are here to move through it with discipline, with a steady hand, a quiet mind, and a sword made from everything you've overcome. The world may challenge you, but it cannot break what you've built within. true power isn't seen, it's felt. It's how you carry yourself in silence, how you stand when no one's watching, how you hold your peace when tested. When your inner foundation is strong, nothing outside can shake you. So don't just build for the world to admire. Build so deeply that the world can't move you. Because when you master your inner strength, everything else must follow.